Tonight on KPBS Evening Edition, President Trump isn't going down without a fight.
They've been trying to impeach me from the day I got elected. And you know what? They failed.
The latest war of words at the White House over the impeachment inquiry. Plus, rough roads in San Diego are a major concern, but is the city making progress? We fill in the answers. And look good, feel good, highlights from an event helping female veterans transition into civilian careers. KPBS Evening Edition starts now. Good evening. It's Wednesday, October 2nd. Thanks for joining us. I'm Priya Sridhar. Combative but with conviction. President Trump fired back even harder today as Democrats turn up the heat on the impeachment inquiry. Congressional Democrats are readying a subpoena to obtain documents related to President Trump's call with the president of Ukraine. Reed Binion has a look.
With the impeachment inquiry moving forward, Democratic members of the House are working to secure necessary documents and cooperation.
We want to make it abundantly clear that any effort by the Secretary, by the President, or anyone else to interfere with the Congress's ability to call before it relevant witnesses will be considered as evidence of obstruction of the lawful functions of Congress.
In a memo released Wednesday, 3 Democrat-led committees accused the White House of refusing to release documents related to President Trump's phone call with the president of Ukraine and say they're working to issue a subpoena compelling the White House to produce key documents.
We are concerned that the White House will attempt to stonewall our investigation, much as they have stonewalled other committees in the past.
President Trump maintains he's done nothing wrong and will comply with investigators.
Well, I always cooperate. This is a hoax. This is the greatest hoax. This is just a continuation of what's been playing out.
But the president doubled down on his assertion that the investigation is politically motivated.
This is a fraudulent crime on the American people, but we'll work together with Shifty Schiff and Pelosi and all of them, and we'll see what happens.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Congressional Democrats say the subpoena will be issued on Friday. Meanwhile, a big win for President Trump. A federal judge in California blocked a state law that would force presidential candidates to release their tax returns in order to be on the ballot. President Trump is resisting efforts to turn over his tax returns in a battle largely playing out in the courts. Today, Trump touted the victory and went after Governor Gavin Newsom.
It was a massive story. It was the biggest story, Mr. President. It was headlines all over the place. Trump gets sued by this do-nothing governor in California. It was big. Here's what happened. Yesterday, I won the case.
The judge noted it's not the court's role to decide whether a tax return disclosure requirement is good policy or makes political sense. State officials plan to appeal. Also in Sacramento, the governor signed an order to temporarily extend the California National Guard at the border. The extension will last through March 31st of next year. In February, Newsom announced a drawdown of the Guard as well as a new focus on their mission to ensure their duties don't overlap with the federal government's border operations. Part of the new duties include intercepting illegal pesticides and preventing the flow of illegal drugs and other organized crime. Democratic presidential hopeful Elizabeth Warren is coming to town tomorrow. The Massachusetts senator will hold a town hall meeting at 7 p.m. at the Waterfront Park. This is her first visit to San Diego since kicking off her presidential run in February. KPBS will, of course, be there and bring you a full report. And a new poll tonight shows Senator Warren with a 3-point lead over former Vice President Joe Biden. The Monmouth University National Poll has Warren at 28%, Biden at 25%. Senator Bernie Sanders is third at 15%. California Senator Kamala Harris and South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg are at 5% each. The poll also found that among voters overall, support for President Donald Trump substantially dropped. Only 39% thought Trump should continue to hold office. Well, it's a common complaint to local leaders. Fix the roads, fill the potholes. They're massive and expensive problem, but according to the city, street crews are filling them at a record pace. Take a look. Mayor Kevin Faulkner and city street crews stopped by this University Heights neighborhood on Wednesday to show off that the city is fixing streets at a historic pace. They say in the last fiscal year, city crews filled nearly 49,000 potholes, much more than the 32,000 a year the city averaged in the past.
We have the budget for the extended crews on nights and on weekends. It's working. We're continuing on the overall street repair. And my goal was to hit 1,000 miles of road in 5 years or less. We've hit that. We're continuing on.
The mayor attributes the success in part to tripling the number of road repair crews. He also says the Get It Done app has been helping. The app allows residents to alert the city of a pothole they want filled. The city's transportation director says they're also using technology that helps them figure out which streets have the worst potholes.
Every about 5 years or so, what we're doing is we have a company that goes out and they drive every mile of every street. They actually take a very fine reading of the pavement, and we actually have video files, and it's something that allows us to program the funds where they're most needed.
They're also tracking their work on their website. You can plug in an address and see all the road repairs from the last 5 years and the type of repair. The mayor says the city is trying to be more proactive to maintain good street conditions into the future.
Part of why we're doing not just slurry seal, but asphalt overlay, so fixing the entire street. That's how you actually do the right thing for the future, so you're not constantly in this cycle. When done right, that street should last, 7 years before you have to come back and slurry seal it again. That's the type of preventative maintenance that is so incredibly important for the long term.
Officials also say they're doing a better job of coordinating different projects.
One of the big changes was to look at other projects that the city is doing. When you look underneath any street, you're going to have water and wastewater lines and stormwater lines. So when the city is actually repairing those, what we're doing now is when that work is done, you're going to get a new street on top of it.
But neighbors at the media event weren't so sure. One woman said the water lines on the street were replaced over a year ago, but the street still hasn't been fixed. She says the city notified her a week ago that crews would be repaving the street this week, but it hasn't happened yet.
For example, Florida, right down the street, it's been completely repaved and has looked fine for months now. So when I got this, I figured that was what they were going to do, is really repair the street. So anyways, I'm just wondering what's happening.
And in a statement to KPBS, a city spokesperson acknowledged that residents were given the wrong information, but blamed the mistake on a private contractor the city hired to pave the road. Well, a recent grand jury report finds San Diego's enforcement of electric scooter laws is lax and riders are routinely violating traffic laws. KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen says the city is on the defensive.
The report says starting last year, city sidewalks were overrun with shared electric scooters. It found San Diego was slow to start regulating scooter companies and that weak enforcement led to reckless riding. The city disputes those claims, and it says by the time the report was issued this past June, it had already implemented its recommendations. Those include fees for every scooter deployed in the city and liability insurance requirements for scooter companies. A city council committee reviewed the report today. Staffers say police officers are issuing tickets to reckless scooter riders.
There's also been an impoundment during Comic-Con that was quite extensive. There were about 2,500 of these vehicles that were impounded, and related fines that were imposed on the scooter companies.
Now, city officials have also created hundreds of scooter and bike parking spots on streets downtown and in the beach communities. That's meant to keep the devices from cluttering sidewalks. City council members will get a more comprehensive update on the first 6 months of scooter regulations in San Diego later this month. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
Today is Free Ride Day. MTS buses, trolleys, and the North County Coaster and Sprinter are all allowing passengers to ride at no charge. It's also Clean Air Day, and local advocates gave area drivers a chance to sample electric cars currently on the market. KPBS reporter Eric Anderson says the test drive event featured a number of different models.
Electric and hybrid cars lined the sidewalk outside the county administration building. Corey Eilman slid into the seat of a 2019 BMW hybrid. Local officials were encouraging people to take them for a spin. San Diego County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher says electrical vehicles and hybrids can go a long way to reducing the state's greenhouse gas emissions. And he says getting people familiar with the vehicle helps.
The electric vehicle is not a flying saucer or a spaceship. They operate like normal cars. And that there is the infrastructure to support having a charging station at your house, and that there's the financial incentives that make it affordable. And so it's new and it's different, but those are surmountable things if we can figure out the math on the financing.
That financing includes state and federal incentives available for anyone buying a new hybrid or electric vehicle, and people who have more modest incomes can get a bigger rebate. Stephanie Hernandez says the state's EV and hybrid rebate fund just got refilled.
This program is available to anyone in the state who is interested in purchasing or leasing an electric vehicle and plug-in hybrid.
Hernandez says some of the state's drivers are getting additional rebates because of things like air pollution that can cut the cost of a new EV and hybrid in half. San Diego may be in line for similar incentives in the future. Eric Anderson, KPBS News.
Dr. Ellen Ochoa paid a visit to San Diego today. Ochoa made history when she became the first Hispanic woman in space back in 1993. She's also a San Diego State University alum. KPBS science and technology reporter Shalina Chatlani caught up with her at SDSU.
Second, to honor meritorious.
This lecture room is packed with San Diego State students and high schoolers all awaiting Dr. Ellen Ochoa's arrival.
Dr. Ellen Ochoa.
I got a chance to speak with Ochoa before her lecture, which took place just days after one of NASA's private partners, SpaceX, announced a major project.
3, 2, 1.
As a woman and a Latina, she cut a unique profile in the space program. I asked what she thought about NASA partnering with companies dominated by men. She says there's growing diversity in the industry.
I know Gwen Shotwell, and of course she's the president at SpaceX, and she's somebody that a lot of the women in the aerospace industry look up to, in addition to many of the people at NASA. And you see CEOs of Lockheed and various other companies that are women as well.
And she says for NASA, diversity has long been a goal.
Starting decades ago, I think NASA really had a concerted effort to diversify their workforce. And that's something that, we continued to work on the whole time I was at NASA, and I saw a lot of changes there.
Ochoa said one of the ways to ensure more women and people of color make it into science and engineering fields is for schools to start offering those types of courses early, so more kids can get exposed to them. Ochoa said she's excited to be back at San Diego State to receive an honorary degree of Doctor of Science.
Yeah, it's a huge honor to be back here at my alma mater. Obviously, it's something I never would have thought about, many years ago when I was a student here.
During her lecture, Ochoa said she's discussing her journey through NASA and current activities aboard the International Space Station. Shalina Chatlani, KPBS News.
A campaign to collect clothes aiming to help female veterans transition into civilian careers is kicking off. KPBS reporter Matt Hoffman explains the initiative dubbed Operation Dress Code.
One thing about being in the military is you don't have to worry about what to wear, but once you get out.
I went in for an interview and had no idea what to wear.
Lindsay Sin is a Navy veteran who knows the challenges of transitioning to life after the military.
It's a little bit intimidating, so the point of dress code is to help reduce that barrier, that additional barrier of not knowing what clothes to wear, not knowing how to wear them, not knowing how to potentially dress for a job interview.
Starting this week, people can donate professional shoes, clothing, and jewelry to help female veterans with their life after service.
Women come out of the military and we're so used to wearing uniforms, we don't necessarily know what's appropriate to wear in a job setting in a civilian life.
Pink bins like this one will be up at different locations across San Diego County where the items can be donated.
Those of you who are opening up your closet doors, pulling out clothes and shoes and jewelry that you haven't worn in over a year, and imagining the smiles of those women veterans who are putting those clothes on and feeling and looking their best.
Donations will be collected over the next 2 weeks. Then early next month, the clothing will be given out to female veterans during an event at the University of San Diego. Matt Hoffman, KPBS News.
Whether you're living close to the coast or inland, sunny skies and warmer weather are ahead. Meteorologist Erin Calandra has our forecast for the rest of the week.
Thanks for joining us. We have an offshore flow, which means the winds are pushing off the coast, and that's going to help our temperatures increase over the next couple of days. So you can see starting off cloudy, but those clouds are moving out, and we have a pretty clear county for today. Lots of sunshine. Hopefully you were able to enjoy it. It has been warmer. We had that cold blast come down from the north, but now things are starting to warm right back up. 59 for the low tonight. It will remain nice and clear, and that's how it is for the whole county here. Ramona at 45, Borrego Springs clear at 62, and Mount Laguna coming down to 48 degrees. Tomorrow, it's going to be warmer. We have this nice warm flow coming out of the south, right along the coast to the north of us mostly. It is going to be chilly with that flow coming in off the Pacific, but for us, we are right in that sweet spot. It is going to be breezy. Winds along the coast around 20 miles per hour, but into those inland areas, we could see winds up to 30 miles per hour, so be careful. We could see some problems on the highways due to that. Tomorrow in Ramona, we'll reach 83, El Cajon up to 88 degrees with sunshine, San Diego at 74, and Borrego Springs into those mid-90s for our highs. That pattern's going to continue through the weekend. That warm air, that southerly flow is going to continue, and it is going to get above average. We're talking 79 Saturday, and then we're up into the 80s along the coast, up to 83 degrees on Monday with lots of sunshine. Inland, we'll see temperatures well into the 80s. Starting off around 83 Friday, but by Monday, we're up to 87 with sunny skies. And in the mountains, we're in the 60s. But then we slowly warm up. Temperatures will go into those mid-70s by Monday. And in the deserts, it's still warm. Our temperatures are in those mid-90s for much of the week, and it's going to remain sunny and dry. For KPBS News, I'm Erin Calandra. Back to you.
We know it's expensive to live in San Diego, but a new study is shining the spotlight on just how hard it is to make ends meet. For example, the majority of household incomes do not meet the region's expected cost of living. That's $96,000 annually for owner-occupied homes, $61,000 for renters. In fact, housing here is twice the average of U.S. metros. Transportation costs are also high, the average household spending $14,000 a year. And childcare is expensive. In fact, there are nearly twice as many kids under 6 with working parents as there are licensed childcare spaces. For more on the study and to learn what's being done to address this affordability crisis, we have links set up on our website, kpbs.org. And while it might be expensive, spending time by the ocean is good for your well-being. A new study of 26,000 people found those living closer to England's coastline had better mental health than those who lived further inland. The study also claims people in poorer households living close to the coast experience fewer symptoms of mental health disorders. An environmental psychologist at the University of Exeter said the research could play a pivotal role in getting governmental action to protect coastal areas.
I'm Judy Woodruff. Tonight on the NewsHour, Democrats threaten to subpoena the White House as the impeachment inquiry enters a new phase. Coming up at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
It's the second deadliest cancer for men, but thanks to a new trial, there may be new hope for those battling prostate cancer. In today's Health Minute, Meredith Wood brings us the latest on this study.
Encouraging news for men suffering from aggressive forms of prostate cancer. A drug could help slow down the progression of the deadly disease.
This study really looked at men who had progressed or for whom standard of care therapy was no longer working.
The drug olaparib was shown to delay the disease progression in men with metastatic castrate-resistant cancer and mutations in their HRR genes. Castrate-resistant means that the cancer keeps growing even when the testosterone levels in the patient's body have been drastically reduced.
The men that were treated in this trial, it reduced the chance of progression or death by 66%. And men who were on this agent more than doubled the time that they benefited from treatment compared to standard therapies.
The drug is sold under the brand name Lynparza. It's currently used to treat adults with other cancers, including ovarian, fallopian tube, and certain types of breast cancer. But manufacturers hope to get it approved as soon as possible for prostate cancer. According to the American Cancer Society, about 1 out of 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and it's more common in older and African American men. It's the second deadliest form of cancer for men behind lung cancer. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
Walmart is pulling the heartburn drug Zantac off its shelves over cancer concerns. The retailer joins CVS and Walgreens by suspending sales of acid-reducing medicines with ranitidine. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration says the drug contains low levels of an impurity that could cause cancer. However, the FDA is not calling for people to stop taking it, but should ask their doctor about the risks. Walmart says customers can return the affected products for a refund. Well, October is here, which means more than fall and Halloween. There are also nationwide deals available to take advantage of the whole month. Mirabelle Aber has details in today's Money Matters.
From pizza to cars and even plants, October is packed with deals for bargain-savvy shoppers. DealNews.com recently ran through some of the best things for you to score savings on. So let's start with new cars. October is one of the best months of the year to shop for a new vehicle. Dealers are looking to clear out last year's models, and sales around Columbus Day could add even additional savings. And gardeners, listen up. October is a good time to find perennials marked down as garden centers hold their end-of-season sales. You might also be able to grab some spring bulbs like daffodils and tulips on sale as well. Travel to Europe can often be cheaper in October. The month is in the so-called shoulder season in the travel business, the period between the peak summer and winter months. And look for deals on pizza all month long. October is National Pizza Month, so check out your favorite pizza place to see if there are any specials. Both Papa John's and Pizza Hut ran big specials last October. And don't forget seasonal produce like apples, pumpkins, and spinach. October offers attractive prices on a variety of in-season fruits and vegetables. For more on deals and what to buy and what to stay away from in October, check out the full story on October specials at DealNews.com.
Today in entertainment news, who's talking big bucks, who's hosting a big awards show, and who you gonna call? David Daniel has it all in the Hollywood Minute.
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Total protonic reversal. Right, that's bad.
Grab your proton pack and don't cross the streams. The original Ghostbusters is returning to theaters for its 35th anniversary. More than 600 U.S. theaters will screen the classic comedy, including a brand new introduction featuring the film's stars on Sunday, October 6th and Thursday, October 10th. Go to fathomevents.com for details. Rob Riggle has a new gig. The actor, writer, and comedian is set to host this year's Hollywood Film Awards, which bills itself as the official launch of the awards season. The 23rd Hollywood Film Awards take place November 3rd in Beverly Hills.
Before Avatar, I talked to James Cameron.
File this under What Might Have Been. Matt Damon tells GQ magazine James Cameron offered him the lead in Avatar and, as an inducement, offered him 10% of the profits. Damon says it would have interfered with his commitment to making the Bourne ultimatum, so he declined. GQ figures that cost him as much as $250 million. Ouch. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Some people will never let age hold them back from excitement. An Ohio man celebrated his 94th birthday by jumping out of an airplane. Marielle Carbone was there for the thrilling moment.
Leaving his security behind, all to take flight.
Jumping out of a perfectly good airplane.
Well, I hope it's a good airplane.
But as he suited up, Paul Grimmy says there was no fear.
No, I'm not nervous at all.
Because he knew he'd have a guardian angel jumping right there with him.
Your wife will be with you when you jump, but one thing about it, she won't need a parachute. She'll be right alongside of you.
Paul's wife passed away in January. Saturday would have marked their 75th wedding anniversary. The jump just as much for her as himself. His granddaughter taking him skydiving for his 94th birthday.
I'm glad he's going to do it. I didn't think he would when I told him that's what I got him for his birthday.
And so, loaded in. Up they went until the moment came, the jump.
It was just beautiful. I just couldn't get over the scenery.
Just as beautiful, the thoughts of his wife.
Yeah, I was thinking of her too. Yeah, I didn't see her though. She did. I thought maybe she would join me.
We did it!
Yeah, we did it.
And though she wasn't there, their legacy, a still growing family, was cheering him safely to the ground.
Yeah, it was more than I expected.
And once again, that was Mariel Carbone reporting. Well, you can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great evening.